What is good, everybody, man? Hope y'all are feeling loved and blessed as always, man. Welcome back to another Kids Room podcast episode. A Sometimes we go through these ups and downs in life. We have to determine and decipher where we're gonna go, right? And sometimes we just have those moments of I'm just not feeling it right now. I'm in a cold spot. I'm not hot right now, right? So that's what this episode is about. It's about not being hot enough. You don't always feel like you're on your game most times, and sometimes we feel as if the presence of God has left us. But I'm here right now just to say that God has never left you, nor has He forsaken you in any type of way. He's always here with us, one way or another. And we all get that feeling of exhaustion, switching from hot and cold, day and night, not knowing, what's going to be secure in your life, what's going to be successful in your life that you're trying to pursue and things like that, that you're going out on a whim and trying to be better. You're trying to make something of yourself or make something of your life, and things are not going your way. But sometimes that just means that's just a sign to become deeper with Christ and to expand your knowledge a little bit, to try a little bit harder to get with Him, because the things that you're asking for could maybe something that He needs to be with you more on, right? Not saying that at the end of the day we're all supposed to be with Christ more and more every day, but sometimes when He wants to use us more, He has to be a part of our lives in a greater way. And in Galatians 6 verse 9, it says, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Simple. You reap what you sow. If you're sowing at a rainy season, if you're sowing in a cold season, if you're sowing in a rough drought season, you will reap what you sow. You will reap in the greater times, because it cannot always be a drought. The water will eventually come. It cannot always be cold. Heat has to come. It cannot always be fall. Spring comes next. Things have to blossom in life. So we have to take the time to get to know God with just me and Him, you and Him. Now, I'm not saying 5 minutes of prayer time. I mean getting deep within Christ. I'm talking about getting to your word and not texting nobody. Don't worry about the likes and the comments, and don't worry about the people that's calling you. Turn off your do not disturb. You know what I'm saying? Get your life sometimes on do not disturb. Get your life on things that you don't want to hinder you. And if you want to make it to the kingdom, if you want to benefit others, then you'll be wise to know that if you get closer with Christ, that's one way to do it. He will bless others through you because of your obedience. So you have to walk with Him, talk with Him, even eat with Him. And He will speak to you in more ways than one. All right? We won't always feel the presence. As I was saying before, we're not going to feel the presence all the time, but that's when God is always most closest to you most times, is whenever you don't feel the presence. Every time you ask Him for something and you want Him to speak to you and He doesn't do it, because He's like, I want you to experience exactly what you're experiencing right now. I want you to go through exactly what you're going through. Go through this path. Sometimes silence is not always a no. It's not always a yes. It's just keep going. That's all it is. And we have to be able to test our faith that way, is to be able to know to keep going at the end of the day, that whatever you see in the physical is not what it is in the spiritual. In James 1 verse 12, it says, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love Him." God is promising reward. God promises so much within the Bible. As long as we follow the commandments and love Him and love Christ, we're always going to be blessed. We're always going to persevere. If you continue to persevere while being blessed, while going through what you're going through, God is going to give you a crown. God is going to give you a reward. God's going to give you the kingdom, because He said, "He that who love Him." So if you love Him and you do the things that He loves, He's going to put you in the kingdom. He's going to put you in the positions that you want to be put in, and better and more. He will open up the floodgates of heaven, of abundance into your life. So the same way that you can't cook a grill on a cold, you can't cook a steak on a cold grill. You have to get the charcoal, you have to light it. And per se, when you're lighting it, right, however you want to light it, I like to do the no gasoline. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put no lighter fluid on my stuff, so I'll just light it with a paper. And sometimes it'll light, and you have to let it heat up. But then sometimes that flame goes out. You have to reignite that flame, but make sure that it's stronger than it was before, so you know that it doesn't get blown out this time. And that's the same thing with our faith. We have to be able to be tested, be put into the fire. And even whenever you are in the fire and you still feel like you're not hot enough, that's when you should feel the most heat in your life. Not from the pressure, but because you're going to be so on fire of the Spirit of God, of Christ in your life that's going on, that He's still letting you live through all this stuff, that is not killing you, is making you stronger. There's promise in that. There's reward in that. In Hebrews 11 verse 6, it says, and without faith it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to Him must believe that He exists, and that He rewards those who earnestly seek Him. Earnestly seek Him. Constantly putting Him into your life, constantly gaining reward for putting Him into your life and believing that He exists. It's not just simply saying, I believe in God, but walking with God, trying things with God, eating with God. Like I said, talking, walking, working out with God, everything, driving with God, everything, thanking God. Being able to know that even when it's wintertime and it's January right now, you can still be on fire. You can still be hot enough. Don't get into that spirit of not feeling hot enough, or not feeling good enough, or not feeling the best, or not feeling that you're worthy when you are. And you have a life and you have a purpose in everything that you do. As long as you know that God has not left you, and even though you don't feel hot right now, it doesn't mean anything. It just means you're not hitting. And just because you're not hitting your shots doesn't mean you stop shooting. That's all I got for y'all, man. Be hot on this week. Be hot the rest of the year. Gain value. Don't let no one take anything from you, man. You have purpose. You have blessing. You're loved. And I thank y'all. And I'm going to catch y'all on the next one.